Anderson. Today we're talking about my interpersonal communication project. I'll be talking about my overarching goal and discuss some of my background and behavior blend that affects that overarching goal and some of the communication barriers that I've come across and discovered with myself through this class, but also address how the resources and some of the strategies I've found can help me mitigate those barriers and then present an action plan where I can reach that overarching goal. So for my overarching goal for my life is I want to be a company commander in the Virginia National Guard. I'm already a lieutenant, platoon leader, but I want to be a company commander before I'm done with my military career. And how that plays in interpersonal communication is officers get rated every 3 months on certain attributes like getting results, physical fitness, uh, developing others, and then some of those developing others interpersonal communication is one of the subsections that they rate. And then also how that relates to becoming a company commander is how you do on that evaluation gets you promoted or not. And it's become a important subsection for you to do because it also affects how your overall unit runs. If you have good interpersonal communication, you're dealing with problems, getting things done. And then it also translates to the civilian side where businesses now have, in their communication skills training have focused on listening so they can figure out the problems they're having in their business and also dealing with people's personal problems and trying to address those. Um, for my overall background and my behavioral type, I'm SC or CS personality type based on Carbonell's book and also on the uniquely huge questionnaire. Before I even took the questionnaire, I looked it up on um, Carbonell's book and tried to figure out what I was, read some of it, and I figured that I'm already an SC personality type or CS. And then I took the questionnaire and it just backed up what I already knew. So it was great that I was self aware of that. But some of those positive things are I'm always someone that people can come to when they have problems, so I have answers to it. Um, and I like to research the problem so that I can provide the best solution. But some of the negatives sometimes with that research and waiting to find the right solution, I'm not decisive when a decision needs to be made. And also, with my personality type, I'm more reserved in um, not being yelling or trying to get things done. I'm more deliberate thinking about my, hey, we need to do this and that. So sometimes people can not be motivated, I guess you could say, because someone's not screaming down their throat to get it done. That's just how I am. I don't think people would provide their best work when you're screaming at them. They're not doing things right. That's just me personally. And some of the barriers that I've found with myself, just with my background and uh, being in the military, that Stuart describes his process in inhaling and exhaling. And during that inhaling, when I'm listening to people, my perception, I form perceptions of them, and sometimes my perception is off because I'm selecting, I'm too busy, so I'm not getting all the information. And then whoever I'm talking with, sometimes I already have an opinion about that person, so they're bringing me um, not some junk or something that's not really important at the time. So I'm not really giving it my full attention. And then Berkeley Allen also describes the perception, reception, and attention as something we do whenever we're listening, and it affects how well of a listener we are. And sometimes I'm not the great listener because I don't have the time because we're trying to fit everything we need to do in a month, in 2 days for our 1 month drill. Uh, so that's a barrier that I found, which made me have to address it throughout the month to plan ahead. But another barrier is when uh, they're bringing me this information, I'm already have my solution for them picked out. I'm a little defensive. I'm like, well, you should have taken care of this during the month, not bring it up on these 2 days when we have all this other stuff to do. So not giving them my full attention, not paying attention to everything they're saying is another communication barrier that I have. And then sometimes it comes off that I'm not caring because I don't self-disclose. I don't tell people about myself that much. So just think, but I'm not a revealing person, so it may seem like I don't care, but I do. That's just my communication style is not giving so much personal information out. but it's something I had to work on. And then sometimes in those 2 days you get pretty busy and you're stressed out about a couple of things, and you get that flat brain, you have all this stuff going on when you do that, and then you're short with people. You don't mean to be, but it's just that's Peterson has helped me understand that I have so much going on in my personal life with school. Now I have drill I have to worry about, so all this stuff is going on. I'm dealing with problems at home, so it works you up, and then you get short with people, and it helped me recognize whenever I get quiet, or sometimes my fiance can recognize when I'm in that flat brain stage because I don't say anything. I'm real quiet. I'm thinking about things, but just learning to recognize that through Peterson has been really helpful, and his explanation of the flat brain theory of emotions. And then also Peterson's really helpful with his listening techniques. There's some I've been really using at my civilian job that really help get through the kids at the juvenile detention center that I work at, and having them, because sometimes they feel like the people that work there aren't listening to them, but me listening to them, responding like, okay, this is what I'm hearing. This is how we need to work on this, and so we don't have problems. So you can enjoy uh, all the benefits of being there, but not being stuck in your room because you can't behave right. So it's been really helpful. I'm gonna use some of those, and then in my own personal life, I've been using it. I'm just waiting to use it in my next drill, my next counseling that I have. And then another resource that's been really helpful to help understand me even further is Carbonell's personality type. He gives good suggestions on things to avoid, things to improve, like taking opportunities to uh, be in charge, be in leadership, taking like extra activities. Like, hey, I'll lead that. I'll be in charge of that. And it also helped me see how I see myself. And 95% of what he wrote in that book accurately describes me. So that's funny to see that he was pretty spot on with that personality type. But for some strategies to help mitigate some of those communication barriers I had with the flat brain, I got to learn to recognize when I'm in that stage. And usually I can recognize it when I'm quiet. Like if I'm not saying anything or not talking to people, something's going on. I need to do that balanced body posture. Um, I can also do it even before I have like a counseling with someone or need to talk to them about problems we're having. That way I know I'm in good headspace, ready to listen, ready to talk about this problem. And then Burley Island also gives good listening strategies for me that really address my problems. One of those is keeping an open mind so that I'm not already have my opinion sorted out about them, or and then also it that goes my next point of holding my rebuttal, waiting until they're done talking to form my opinion, and also not being distracted, focus my attention on what they're saying. And then another one is practice regularly. So I can do that with counselings, talking to people about problems, being open to like, talk about anything going on with them. For my action plan, I can use these techniques that I've learned and these strategies now at my platoon level so that when I'm ready for this promotion, they can see that I've done this. My units look communication is great. They're getting their job done. That way, when they put me in that position, I don't need to focus on working on my interpersonal communication skills. I already have that down. And then just practice with my counselings. Uh, do those counselings, making sure you're doing it every 3 months with my subordinates. So, like my platoon sergeant would be right below me, just working on that. And that way, whenever I get to that company position, I can counsel my subordinates would be myself would be when I'm positioned now, I'd be counseling someone in my position. So that's important. Um, and then leaving with you with a quote, Paul J. Myers said, communication, the basic human process is the key to personal and career success. So it's important that we get that communication down. And then, as you can see from my PowerPoint, there's a list of my resources. Thank you for your time.